Hello, I am Scott, the breathing guy. I will train you to locate, generate, activate core key energy in physical activity. I have this drawing right here. This video series is driver swing mechanics with key energy, the four components that forms every golf swing. And today's component is going to be the head generator. To show you this drawing comes from Ben Hogan's book, The 5 Lessons. And you can see the four components with the core generator, the head attitude generator, I call it, the muscle here for the swing, and then the swing mechanics itself. That's the physical movement. His form at the point of striking the ball is where his feet are, where his body, angles involved. So, head attitude generator. In golf, a lot of people use the term mental. Golf is a mental state. But if you look up at the other definition of mental, how does that fit golf? But if you, I call this up here the attitude generator. Think of when you're practicing doing anything, it is an attitude that forms your golf swing itself. If you go to the dictionary, look up the definition of mental. It's basically abstract thought. It's what you've learned. But when you go to the definition of attitude, that has mental in it, but it also has physical. You're expressing something. You're expressing an emotion even. Your attitude in doing something. So what is your attitude swinging on the driver, say? Because it's all about the driver. Is it fearful? Is it confidence? Or what type of attitude do you want to develop to swing the driver? Now, in sports, there's two terms that you can look for. One Eastern, one Western. The Western term we like to use is the zone. The player's in the zone. The person's in the zone. The most best example of that was Michael Jordan when they used to say he was in the zone. And basically when you watch him, people is an attitude expression. They can truly see the attitude of his movement and his purpose to get the ball in. So understanding the difference between mental, when you're trying to go develop your golf swing, it shorts you out. But if you think I have to develop my attitude, you have to incorporate your mental involved, but also an emotional state within the physical movement of practice, of doing, playing, and swinging. That is far more encompassing if you want to improve your game. So all you people out there that keep saying, oh, mental game, it is actually an attitude that's preventing you from really facilitating based on your physical abilities of doing the golf swing of these four components, basically. Now, in this drawing, you have it up here, but look down here, you have a big core generator right here. And there's a relationship between here and here, because remember, the core is a source of energy and strength, two separate things that have to come together for your golf swing, to swing the driver or any club involved. So understanding that right. And what's the function? I'm going to use the word, the function of the mind in itself. That's in your head. The function of the mind for this program is it either consumes energy in thought, mental abstracts, or perspective or dreaming, or it's directed into physical, down to your feet, in your movement and action. So the energy can go either to a thought that's outside of yourself or inside yourself to do something. And that's where having an attitude to bring your mind direction to your physical operation to the driver's swing. The driver's swing is 100% physical. No other club has that because you literally want to repeat the same movement in every time you swing the driver. That's the beauty of it. So developing the swing mechanics, the four components together that is repeatable to create an experience, an attitude experience. That's the fun of swinging the driver over all the other clubs, so I say, and you can refine it down. It's a physical act, how well you do it. Now, in sports, I said there's two. I use the term the zone. What's the second? It's an Eastern term. to be the same way as the zone, and that is the Zen state. What is the Zen state? First, it doesn't have any abstract. That's the other thing. It does not have a, you're totally, if you're watching Zen tea ceremony, everything is moved, timed perfectly, everything, and it has a goal to make the tea taste better, to make the whole experience of drinking tea enhancing, and that's what a zone state is. The physical ability of attitude that the person is projecting in the purpose of putting a ball in a hoop. That's it. Doesn't take long. Same as sipping a tea. A little sip may take a long time to develop, but the effect, the joy of doing it, have the sensation that's within the attitude. That's what you're getting. Now, what I'm going to say, ask you this. I'm going to introduce some other concept. What do you need to develop your attitude generator to have higher performance, and your Zen state? And there's an emotion that's natural in every human being, and it's necessary, but when it's used inappropriately, hurts you. And what's the two Zen and zone do not have is fear. How do you deal with fear? How do you work with your fear, if you want to say? And what do you do with it to produce the zone and Zen state in your attitude up here? Because it's up there, and the body is executed. The linking that it shows between the attitude, your head area, and when I get into the head area, it's going to really, for performance, that's a whole nother area. But we're just working on attitude today and how you have to, and the word emptiness. Now this term is part of a book called The 5 Rings, written by one of the great swordsmen of Japan. And he put that as the last ring of all the things you have to prepare, the practice, strategy, everything like that, because that state brings out the practice you've done and the attitude necessary to fight without fear. When you have an empty state, you're emptying fear. That's the key thing right there. You're emptying your fear so your practice can come out, so your whole expression. Now the word fear is a very interesting word for humans. And there's 2 types of fears that we all have. One is physical. Can I physically be hurt in this situation or surroundings or someone? That's the one. And the second fear is emotional. Yeah, do I look good or this? And we contribute. That's all learned. Emotional is learned. Physical is real on there. What happens a lot of times with people is that they project their emotional fear into their physical. That's why people emotionally can get themselves sick, when really emotion is an illusion. It's all learned, involved. Being hit, hurt, or you're being threat to your physical is outside yourself. So one is inside yourself, one is outside yourself. How do you eliminate? So the first thing you want to eliminate, the fact that when you're practicing, there is no physical harm that can come to you. Now, you do have the other fear of, oh, if I exert myself, my body's going to hurt, I'm going to hurt, pull a muscle or something. That's another thing. Another area of development in this whole program, driver swim mechanics, I go into. So understanding the word empty, how do you create an empty state? Well, here is a term. Here's what I came up with for it to help you. Understanding the mental, the mind attitude. The more you think, that's 2 and 2 is 4, project out, right? The less you feel your body, the less you feel your feet, the less you're engaged in your physical movement. The more you feel your body doing something, the more or less you think. When you're expressing your attitude in your movement and purpose, there's a lot of physical involved, and since you have clarity of purpose, there's a lot of distraction. Because excess thinking about this or that is a distraction of your energy direction ability within this framework. Why do you want to take energy away from your swing? Why do you want to take physical muscle ability based on energy away, disperse it in other ways? And attitude will do that to you. It can sidetrack you. And if you're in the zone state attitude over a thinking attitude, you have a lot more enjoyment, and the potential of all the practice you put in will be shined through. Versus if you have basically any fear or any abstract thought of purpose involved. And so having an expression of projecting, of having no emotional fear in what you're doing is a foundation. But how do you create that? You create it here, and he goes into core breathing. The more you feel your energy and strength and focus on that, the more you can apply it to your practice abilities to swing the driver. This is what it's all about. So what I introduced today is there's 3 parts now. You have to start off with emptiness, then you can develop your zone state or a Zen state. Put those 2 terms together within the practice itself so you can express swinging the driver on the range. That's 1. Core generator value with breathing to create sensations, to make your body feel more. That's the other part within the development of your driver swing. The driver swing is the only swing that's 100% physical. You do the same movement every time as your goal, repeatability, so you can get the repeatable performance in every swing. So understanding, I will go in more depth with this later when I go through all the 4 components, because they all link together, they all have to come together for your swing. They all interlaced and linked and coordinated together. So this is driver swing mechanics with key energy. This is attitude generator part of the golf swing, and the Zen zone and emptiness are the 3 forms that have to be together. And being empty of fear, being highly sensation, helps you develop your Zen zone state for your swinging the driver.